We're going to review the placement of how to create lighting systems and also how to create a switch system. That is the switches that we usually place at the entrance of the room. To place luminaires, we already know that we have to go to Systems, Electrical, Lighting Fixtures. We could also type the F keys. Now, we talk about that when we are placing the ceiling, we should use the option Place on Face and choose the type that best suits the ceiling system. In this case, I will choose for this example the one with the dimensions 600 by 1200 millimeters. Please note that using space, I can make my element rotate and conform to the shape or direction that is taking the ceiling grid. That is also quite useful when we use these types of tools. Another option will be to use 600 by 600 millimeters and place space. Observe how we can rotate it. Everything will be simpler or will look better than the one we used in the previous case. We already know that we could select them. Always very careful that in our selection they are not left out when we copy them. We select a base point, we leave 3 spaces in between, and we copy again, and we place one more on this side. Here we have the luminaires. The next step will be to select all the luminaires. We select them all at this time, and note that we have several options. There is the option of creating a power electrical circuit. This is going to take into account the wiring, the thickness of the gauge of the wire, and so on. Note that there is a second option, which is the switch. We can create a switch system for these elements, but obviously to create a switch system, we must have a switch to associate it with. Before creating the switch system, how do we place a switch? We go back to System, Electrical, and in Device, there is a drop-down button. And here is the one we need. There are the lighting devices or switches. We have several options: 3-way, door, circuit breaker, etc. We will use at this time 3-way, which we will serve as an example. We'll place the switch on vertical faces in this point. But remember that this is perhaps a curtain wall. We could place it here and the switch is already placed. Note that when we place a switch, it is using a symbol. When we see it's perpendicular to the plane where it has been placed, it does not show the element as such. The form of the element is what we see here in the properties, but it is using the very common symbol of the switches. If we select the lights, we apply switch. It has created a system of switches. All these lights have been connected to each other, and all of them turn on or off at the same time. Note that in the context menu, it also indicates Select Switch, that is controlling them. We place it here and click on the switch. Notice how these dashed lines have been created, indicating that they are all controlled by the same switch. Something has to be taken into account. For example, on purpose, I place a 3-way switch here. If we select it, it indicates that it is 3-way, and we could create a similar one with the tools we have seen before and perhaps place it in this door because that is the function of the 3-way. Is that they can turn on and off on both sides. But the point is that when we use a 3-way, we cannot associate the second one with these luminaires again. Only one of the 2 3-ways can be associated. That is a limitation that we have to take into account. Now, if it is a normal one, we are not interested, and there is no problem. We know that if it is a normal one, we simply place it at the door and that it does have to be assigned to luminaire necessarily. Now, if it is a three-way, it may be left on place because the other three-way is the one who controls the lights. In this way, we place switches within the model.